Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a question that seems super simple on the surface, but is absolutely critical for engineers. Where is the true center of an object? We're talking about finding its centroid.
Okay, so have you ever actually tried this? You grab a book, stick your finger out, and you're just kind of hunting for that one perfect spot, right? That little point where everything just clicks into place and balances perfectly.
Well, that exact sweet spot, that's what engineers call the centroid, or the geometric center. And for them, finding this isn't some party trick. I mean, when you're talking about a massive bridge or a skyscraper beam, getting this right is everything. It's all about stability and strength.
So, a good way to think about the centroid is like it's the shape's command center, its headquarters. And here's the key thing. Its location is a fixed property of the shape itself. It doesn't matter if you're measuring its position from London or Tokyo. That HQ is always in the same spot. The only thing that changes is your distance to it.
Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at some really useful shortcuts for common shapes. You know, the kind of stuff you'll absolutely see if you're studying engineering or cramming for an exam.
All right, first step, the triangle. This is one of the most fundamental shapes you'll ever deal with, and thankfully, the rule for finding its center is surprisingly simple and really powerful.
So, get this. It doesn't matter what kind of triangle it is. The rule is always the same. Its centroid is located at a height of h divided by 3, and that's measured from its base, where h is the total height perpendicular to that base. Simple as that.
And this is what's so cool about it. The universality of this simple rule is just amazing. It doesn't matter if it's a right-angled triangle, an equilateral one, or some wacky scalene triangle. You can pick any side to be the base, measure the height straight up from there, and boom, the centroid will always be 1/3 of that height away. It's just incredibly reliable.
Okay, another shape that pops up all the time, especially on exams, is the semicircle. Now, a full circle is easy, right? The center is, well, in the center. But a semicircle is a little trickier, so it's a great one to have in your back pocket.
And here's the formula for that one. Its centroid is located at a distance of 4 times the radius, divided by 3 pi from its flat base. This is definitely one of those formulas that's just super useful to commit to memory for quick calculations.
But you know, in the real world, things are rarely that simple, right? Structures aren't just perfect triangles or semicircles. So, what happens when you start combining these shapes into something more complex? How on earth do you find the center then?
Let's take a look at this. This is a standard T-section. You see these all the time in construction. It's basically just two simple rectangles stuck together. So the question is, where's the single balance point for this entire thing?
Okay, so right off the bat, we get a nice little shortcut. See how the shape is perfectly symmetrical? You could fold it in half vertically and it would line up perfectly. Because of that symmetry, we know the horizontal center instantly. The centroid has to lie somewhere on that center line. So boom, half our problem is already solved.
But the vertical center, that's a different story. It's not symmetrical from top to bottom. So where is it? Is it just halfway up at 300 millimeters, or is it somewhere else entirely?
All right, let's just pause for a second and use our intuition here. Where do you think this centroid is? Is it going to be above the halfway point, exactly at the halfway point, or maybe below it? Think about where most of the area weight is concentrated.
If you guess that it's higher up, you are absolutely right. That big top piece, the flange, it has more area, and it literally pulls the geometric center of the whole shape upwards, towards itself. But just knowing it's higher isn't enough. To find out exactly where, we need to dig a little deeper.
See, to pinpoint that exact location, intuition alone isn't going to cut it. We need to understand a really core engineering principle that governs how all of this stuff is calculated.
And a great way to wrap your head around this is with an analogy. You've probably heard of a moment of force, right? That's just a force multiplied by a distance, and it's what causes something to rotate. Well, the moment of area is a very similar concept, but it's a purely geometric property. It's simply an area multiplied by a distance.
And this leads us to the fundamental golden rule of centroids. About any centroidal axis, the moment of area is 0. This is it. This is the mathematical definition of that sweet spot we were trying to find with the book.
So what does that actually mean? Well, it means that if you draw a line through the centroid, that true balance line, the turning effect of the area above that line perfectly cancels out the turning effect of the area below it. They're in perfect balance.
This is the principle that lets us calculate the precise centroid for any weird, complex shape you can dream up.
Okay, so you might be thinking, why did we just dive into all that theory? Why does really understanding this principle matter more than just memorizing a handful of formulas? Well, think about it like this. Anyone can memorize that the centroid of a triangle is at h/3. That's just rote learning. But the best engineers, the ones who really solve problems, they understand the why behind it. That's what sets them apart.
And this is the real kicker, because one day you're going to face a weird, non-standard shape that you've never seen before. It's not in any textbook. And in that moment, the formulas won't help you. You have to go back to the fundamental principles. That deep knowledge is what allows you to crack the really tough problems that make a real difference.
It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other simple rules of thumb that we use every single day are actually just the tip of the iceberg, hiding a much deeper, more powerful principle underneath?